DJI Air 3, huge update. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night, I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by Mr. Marcus Crawford. We spent the better part of the evening discussing all the latest regarding the DJI Air 3. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. Now, like I said, there is so much here going on with the Air 3, it's not funny. And what I thought I'd like to do would be to go through, our friend Igor has put out a series of pictures, and then we're going to look at some articles out on Drone DJ. So let's go ahead and I'll start sharing here.
It's easy to say, Bill, we know a lot now, but we sure don't know it all.
Yes, that is a very good point, Marcus. That is an excellent point here. Now you can see right here, this shows basically the whole setup. Okay?
Oh, I haven't seen that picture yet, Bill.
That's a lot of these came out this evening. I mean, right when I was getting ready to go on, because I was putting some of these up, and I saw Igor had put some more pictures up, and here's one of them right here, which kind of surprised me that he was putting more pictures up here. Now we're going to go ahead and go back up to his main account. We're going to kind of fly through there. That's the one we just saw.
Oh, there's one in flight there.
There's one in flight, and it has, you see right here, 2.1 over 1.3 inch sensor support, dual, native ISO for direct output of 4K 60 frames per second, video 4K 100 frames per second, HDR video up to 4K 60 frames per second, color modes 10-bit D-Log M and 10-bit HLG.
Oh, that's huge for a lot of people.
It is. Yeah. It is.
Oh, look at that. I predicted that, Bill.
The vertical shooting?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 And that's a good point, Marcus, because, they're following, seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to say carbon copy, but boy, this is sure sounding familiar to the Mini 3 Pro and what they did with that and the features that they're adding on to this.
Well, of course, give you 100 frames per second in 4K. Holy cow, Bill! And then HDR video up to 60 frames per second. Those are some interesting specs. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm real impressed with that. Of course, these came out around 6:30 tonight. All these pictures here.
Yeah.
Both cameras are capable of capturing 48 megapixel photos with high detail. That's interesting as well too. Here's another picture of it here. And then now the batteries, it's like have a feast and take a look at some of these photos of the batteries.
Yep, that's a battery, all right.
That is sure a battery there. Let's go ahead here. There's props. And then there's
look at all that stuff. He's got it all, doesn't he?
He really does. Now, what I thought's real interesting with this, Marcus, is that they put this front guard to cover the front sensors as well, too, which I thought was real interesting.
They're wanting to protect those when it's in the case. The other thing that stands out for me, Bill, is down there, the part over the gimbal. Look at those little cushions on the curved part of it there.
Yep. They're, they are learning, okay? Because I'll never forget the struggle that I had when I had the original Mavic Pro and trying to get that gimbal cover back on. And I was a newbie. This was my second drone. I'm just getting my feet wet. And I was out on a Mavic Pro group, and somebody shot like a 5-second video on how to do it for me. And I saw it and I knew how to do it. It was just, there was no directions. It's like you take the gimbal cover off, but how do you get it back on?
Yeah.
And here I am, I'm newbie, I'm green as green, and I'm like, how in the world do you get this thing back on? And then finally he said, he talked through it and he said what to do, but it was like no more than a 5-10 second video and had it on there. And of course, this is the battery charger. Now, this is interesting because, and we talked about this is DJI's first concurrent charger, meaning it will charge all 3 batteries at once. What I'm real interested to see, Marcus, is what the total charge time is going to be on this, okay? and it's going to depend upon how many watt that the charger is.
So let me ask you, Bill, is this one going to come with its own charge block? Because they have this different, like you said, concurrent charger, will they give you like a 100-watt charge block or something?
I would hope they would, because anything less, Marcus, than a 100-watt charge block, this thing is going to take 3-4 plus hours to charge all these batteries.
Right.
Yeah, it's just too much for that. Okay. And take a look.
That's interesting with the battery eject button there on the bottom.
On the bottom, yeah.
That's kind of handy. I'll tell you, Bill, what I found, like with the Avata, I found the fastest way for me to charge those batteries is to use my charger from the Mavic 3, and I just have the 60-watt version of the Mavic 3.
Yeah.
But it charges the Avata batteries more quickly, and I've got an Anker charger here and stuff, and for whatever reason, the DJI charger charges it faster.
No, that's a good point, because I do that. The charger that I got when I had the Mavic 3, I ended up buying another one of those, and I use that to charge the Mini 3 batteries. And boy, it's like lickety split. It gets those charged and it gets the controller charged. I mean, there's just no like a boss. There's just no problem. But yeah, they even sell a 100-watt version for the DJI 3 Mavic 3 Enterprise, and now they're finally were available. They were out of stock for the longest time for the 100-watt version. Now they're back in stock.
Let's throw that warning up, though, Bill. If you do that, if you get that 100-watt charger, you also have to upgrade your charge block, or your, what am I thinking of, Bill? The cradle.
The cradle. Yep.
It's a different cradle for the 100-watt than it is for the 60-watt. Evidently, it's more heavy duty, I presume. So
yeah, it's built to probably take it, because you're putting more current through there, and it's more powerful, and you don't want to cause an overload or any kind of problems with that. So yeah, that's a real good point with that.
Well, probably what it does, it's probably smart enough that you could get the 100-watt charge block, but if you've got the 60-watt cradle, it probably just won't charge any faster. It'll probably reduce that current.
Yeah, I think you're. I think you're right with that as well. Now we're going to take a look at some of the articles that were out on Drone DJ. Now this first one looks like DJI Air 3 will share 2 focal lengths with a Mavic 3 Pro. Another leak from Jasper Ellens on Friday provides the clearest view of the 2 cameras. Would include an f1.7 camera at the bottom and an f2.8 on top. And boy, they were sure right. We also speculated the bottom camera would be wide main camera, while the top camera would have the tele-lens. Okay. Well, our speculation turned out to be correct, which wasn't too difficult to guess, but it's still a win. Both the Mini 3 and Mavic 3 series boast 24mm equivalent cameras, although with different sensor sizes. The Air 3 has sensors expected to fall somewhere in the middle, at least 1 inch, like the Air 2S. Lastly, DJI recently introduced a 70mm equivalent lens with the Mavic 3 Pro, which has revolutionized the drone industry. Lens compression capabilities produce outstanding photos and videos, and from the latest image, it seems we can expect the same excellence on the Air 3. Okay, this is good news on the camera markets, because I think a lot of people, if they're on the fence about this drone and say, looking at this, comparing it to say like a Mavic 3 or a Mavic 3 Classic or Mavic 3 Pro, and this is kind of a game changer, because you're getting a camera with equivalency. I mean, it's not what you're getting in the Mavic 3 Pro, but I'll tell you what, you're kind of knocking on the door. You know what I'm saying? You're getting some really good specs with what we're seeing here.
It's going to look good. I can tell you, a lot of people have been giving me a lot of grief over, okay, you're going to get rid of your Air 2S. You're going to miss that 1-inch sensor. I don't know. When has DJI ever gone backwards on their quality? I know, I understand it's a 3/4-inch sensor on this one, but I have a feeling it's going to look really good. So,
I agree. I agree with you 100%, because DJI always moves forward, and like I said, the technology you see on some of the higher end drones always has trickled. DJI has always done that. It's trickled on down to the drones that we see and use all the time for the hobbyists. Okay. Right. So let's go ahead. There's another article that I'm going to share here. and it's the DJI Air 3. Could bring a quality of life upgrade we've all been waiting for. Okay.
Well, who's not for a better quality of life, Bill?
Bingo, Marcus, bingo. Okay, according to Jasper Allens, the Air 3 includes an upgraded battery charger. The enhanced charger will allow owners to charge multiple batteries simultaneously, eliminating the need to rely on third-party charging equipment. This is a significant improvement. Those who desire this feature, and a win for us. Okay, Allens also claims the Air 3 will be equipped with a completely new 04 transmission system. Okay, which likely explains the introduction of new controllers alongside the drone. If the rumor is indeed true, we can anticipate higher bit rates, reduced latency, and extended range for the Air 3. Okay. Now, one of the things that I wanted to say about this, and you know this, and I know Ron knows this as well too, is these simultaneous chargers have been out for like a long time. Okay. You look at your FEMI drones, that FEMI's had them out, that company, and I forget the name of the company. And my son-in-law had a good conversation on that. FEMI's had them for a while. Yeah. And one of the problems was one of the off branches of that. Now, there was a main company that put these out and they worked well, but then there was an off branch that I saw on Amazon, and the fan had a problem cooling down the unit. Okay. The unit would get like hot to the touch, like over 110 degrees. You couldn't even touch it. So, but that was not the main brand. The main company would do that. But this is something I think people have been asking for a long time. And it just kind of boggles my mind, Marcus, because this is not rocket science. Okay. This is a known, quantity, a known technology. It's not something that DJI had to come up with a patent for and get it. It's out there. It's available. It's simple, electricity physics, if you want to call it that. Okay. It's not rocket science. And it kind of, I don't know for me, I'm kind of puzzled as to why it took DJI so long to do this.
Yeah, it is odd because that was kind of one of the disappointments when we saw those gang chargers when they first appeared. You hope that you could get concurrent charging, and a lot of people were disappointed when you couldn't. So yeah, I'm with you. That's one of those mysteries. I guess maybe it's a situation so that they can come out with something new and exciting, right? So
yeah, exactly. Exactly. As you always say, we weren't thinking of it, but boy, when they put it out, we sure want it. That's right. That's one of those things. Now, there's another article here, as if it's just like there is just, like I said, so much going on right now. Okay, DJI Air 3 drone new remote controllers hit the FCC database, and you can see down here these are the actual. You can see DJI RCN2 with its approval on the back there. There's the Air 3 with its approval. And you can see all the logos down here. German website WinFuture was the first to share what appeared to be professional marketing images of the drone and its peripherals. And they show the aircraft flaunting a dual camera setup. Interestingly, none of the cameras bear a Hasselblad marking. Okay. As the FCC filings confirmed, DJI is also planning to release 2 upgraded drone remote controllers with the Air 3. The new RC2 largely resembles the original RC that was released with the Mini 3 Pro, but now sports 2 external antennas for even better connectivity. And while no external changes are visible in the RCN2, a superior connection with the drone is definitely in the cards here. Another critical piece of information confirmed by the FCC paperwork is that the Air 3 will boast a 4241 milliamp hour battery, which is about 30% larger than the battery pack of its predecessor. And this should increase the total flight time significantly compared to the Air 2S, which is currently seeing its best discounts in a bid to clear up inventory. Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up. That battery. That's going to be a great battery. And like I said, and I know Ron's talked about it, I've talked about it, I think you have too. It's like whenever I would go out with a Mavic 3 and fly, it's like I really, it's like I maybe had, by the time I was done getting everything I needed, I probably could have flown another 20 minutes easily on it,
Right.
And I think this is kind of going to be kind of along the same lines here, because that is a lot of power in that battery. Okay. They're packing a lot of heat in this, Marcus, and you're going to have some awesome run times here.
Yeah, I think that one of the valid arguments that I've heard from people is people that are doing multiple flights on the same battery. In other words, if you're doing commercial work or even just as a hobbyist, you put it up for 5 minutes or whatever, land it. Well, you go to your next area, put it up for another 5 minutes. So I am in that situation. I absolutely understand that why you would want that increase in battery capacity.
Yeah.
But as you say, and gosh, I know Johnny's in the chat. We've talked about this a lot. Man, when I've got the drone up there for 25, 30 minutes, I'm ready to land it, because you're so focused, you want a little break.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we're it's like, okay, we're getting so much now every day that's coming out here, but there's just one piece of information that we're not getting yet, is that infamous email from DJI with a, their version of save the date, and we haven't seen that yet. Lloyd, thanks so much. Appreciate that. You know, normally we see something like that by now, because we've basically seen everything except the 100% specs, like from the side of the box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we really have.
Yeah, we'll see it anytime now. I totally agree with you, Bill. Yesterday on Drone Nation, I told everybody we'd see it today, just kind of spitting in the wind a little bit.
Yeah.
But really, I would expect it anytime.
Yeah, I'm thinking, my birthday Sunday, I would be real surprised if we don't have, an email from DJI before Sunday, before next week, with, a date and a time kind of a thing.
A release date, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, we had talked last week, and I know Ron had talked about this as well too. It's not as expensive as we think it's going to be. I guess what I'm hearing is like maybe $1,500. Is that for like with the controller, the Fly More kit, that kind of thing? Is that about?
Yes, the Fly More kit would be around $1,400-$1,500. That's what
that's what I was thinking too, because with that new concurrent, I'll tell you this, I'm already sold on getting the Fly More kit, because I really am very curious to see how that concurrent charger will work and how it will do. It's going to be, I think it's going to make everybody who will use this, say, in a semi-professional or professional capability, it's really going to make their lives a whole lot easier. Okay. And now, a great suggestion would be, is if you're going to use this for business, you would probably want to obviously buy more batteries, but obviously buy a couple more of those concurrent chargers as well too, because while you're out flying, you could have 3 batteries charging and ready to go. Like if you're going from job site to job site, and you got your thing going on, and you know how to charge these things, between, while you're out flying, your other batteries could be charging,
Yep. Good point. That's a great point. Yeah.
It's going to be good here. Bill Thomas brought a good point up here. Okay. The Air 2S and Air 3, they're different drones. And that's a good point, Bill. A lot of people probably will keep their Air 2S because, it's still a fun drone. It still does a lot, and it does a lot of things very well. For instance, for me, if I see it go south anymore, I might pull the trigger on one. And what I would use that for would be for my ham radio channel, for deploying antennas, because their modules, they have release modules out on Amazon for that dirt cheap that work. And I know I've seen it because I've seen people use these release modules, and, without causing any problems with the sensors. That would be perfect for me, because, I don't fancy myself. What a lot of guys do, they use a potato launcher, okay, when they're trying to shoot, and they'll shoot like paracord up over a tree and then pull their antenna wire up there. And it usually works, but it's precise with the drone. There's no guessing game with that. You're dropping it, boom, it's there. So, but yeah, I think we'll see something probably before this weekend, and I think it'll be next week sometime. We'll probably see a release. Now, here's another question for you. And when Ron joins us, I want to get his take on it as well, too. Okay. Are they going to be available immediately at the release, or is it going to be one of these, order it and it's a couple of weeks out kind of thing? What do you think?
Well, if we go by past history, I mean, well, I don't. You know what? They do it different every time. So you know what? Anything that I say is just a stupid guess anyway. So yeah, no. What I'm saying, Bill. I guess we just don't know. We'll know when it's here. I mean, the Mini 3. I think the Mini 3 Pro just took a couple days to get that order processed. But if we look back at some other stuff, it took longer to finally for them to finally ship that stuff. So yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, it's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other, because I think, what was it? I'm thinking the Mini 2, and I'm trying to remember which is which. There was a lag and a delay after the release in ordering them and finally getting them. I know, I forget, it was either the Mini or the Mini 2. There was some kind of a lag or a delay in getting them to people, and I don't know why that's happened, because DJI's really worked hard to beef up their distribution network ever since the original Mavic Pro came out, and the extreme debacle that they had with that. I mean, that was just a huge, colossal mess, because they completely underestimated that people were going to go cuckoo over the Mavic Pro and buy that thing up like nobody's business. And there were people ordered in October, didn't get them until January. They were not happy campers, to say the least. That's for sure.
So Brad Henderson is saying the drone was supposed to be scheduled for Saturday release. So yeah, we could hear something anytime.
Yeah, that would be nice. Question of the day. What did you think of the DJI Air 3 huge update? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.